Hi everybody, here we are on International Women's Day, and I want to pay homage to all of the amazing women who came before me, who have paved the way in order for me to be able to stand on the stepping stones of everything that they achieved, which allowed me to be all that I can be today. I also want to pay homage to all of the women who spend a lot of time on my page, who communicate, who support, who raise each other up, who offer advice, and I want to thank them for supporting me too. I want to get back to a post that I put up the other day. Are you a victim or a victor? And the people that I was trying to address in that video were the victorious people who were a victim, an actual victim at some point, who became victorious, which is what I did. And I also wanted to speak to the people who were playing the victim role. That's why I said I played the victim role for a short period of time. Now, when I mean play the victim role, as in you're choosing to play that role, who I mean are the people who say, oh, poor me, it always happens to me. Oh, but sure, if she didn't do that, I wouldn't have done this. And the finger is always pointed out, okay? A gorgeous girl by the name of Shailene, what an awesome name, put up a brilliant post under that video, under the victim or victor video. And she said that sometimes people are just victims by no choice of their own. 100%, totally agree with that. I wasn't addressing those people on the day though. But this gives me an opportunity to do it now. So thanks very much, Shailene, for pointing that out. So for people who are victims, and I mean people who are in a circumstance where they are being abused. Now, the word abuse is expansive. It can go over a lot of layers. But they are being abused or taken advantage of in a certain circumstance, and they can do nothing about it, okay? Now, let's start off at the beginning. Shailene had said, you know, people can be abused from many different angles. You know, sexual abuse, mental torture is a big one. Mental torture is a big one, lads. I see a lot of people here in this room that are going through a lot of mental torture. It's harder to prove mental torture too. People can be abused physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all them things. What I'll say to adults, I'm only speaking to adults here in this particular circumstance, okay? When you become aware that you are being abused and you are a victim, if you're watching this now and you're hearing my voice, you have access to the internet and you have access to Facebook. When you have access to the internet, the world is your oyster. There are so many services out there that are available that at no cost to you to seek advice only, you know, that's taking an action. There's so much out there for you that you can avail of that really we don't have an excuse to stay in a certain situation when we can harness it and take control, okay? In certain circumstances, okay? Now, I was speaking to a guard recently and he was helping a woman put a case together for she was taking her husband to court for mental torture over a very, very long period of time. And this man used to put his wife's toothbrush down the toilet every night as a way to degrade her, along with many other things. I do a lot of work with the Women's Refuge in Drogheda. I've always tried to help them out as much as I could, and other different services where people are disempowered, okay? And this page is all about empowerment. So from my experience with the Women's Refuge, the main thing that gets said up there is that people who are in abusive relationships, any kind of abuse, the women genuinely don't believe that they're going to be believed. You know, can I say that he was throwing me toothbrush down the toilet every night? Like, it sounds so stupid. It doesn't sound stupid. It sounds like you're being abused. But that's the main common thread with people who use that service, is that they're afraid to tell the truth. They're afraid to say, in their words, all of the silly things and the stupid things that happen. Sure, nobody'd believe that. It's so outrageous. Nobody would believe that that happened. There are people out there who believe. There are people out there trained to get this information out of you if you choose to avail of the service. But you cannot change your circumstances unless you take an action. Now, I'm not saying that everybody needs to pack their bags and leave and do all those kinds of things, but there are small things that you can do for yourself in order to make your life easier. Now, I suppose the adults and children and teenagers can listen to the next bit. I was a victim of many different things, which I'll go into in greater detail at another time. And what I'll say to you is when you are a victim and when you are less than 18 years old, or if you're living under somebody else's roof, or if you are, beholden to somebody, every day feels like a month. And every tear that's shed feels like you're dehydrated because you cry that much. And you feel like everything is 100% utterly out of your control. And it is to a degree. Mainly it is out of your control, especially when you're a child. So I'm addressing potentially children that are going to hear this. And if you're listening to this and you're an adult, I want you to share it on your page, because you will help somebody. And I'm getting a rash and I'm getting a bit upset. I'm trying to rein it in because I get so passionate about this. So if you're a child or a teenager and you're listening to my voice right now, you have access to the internet. If you are in a vulnerable situation where your gut is talking to you and you're saying, this is not good, this is not cool, I shouldn't be treated like that, whether it's small scale stuff or big scale stuff, there are people in your schools and there are people in your community that are there to help you, okay? You need to speak to a trustworthy adult about your current circumstances. You need to ask for their trust, and can you speak to them privately, and that the conversation can go no further, okay? For the moment. But you need to share whatever that situation is with another responsible adult who has your best interest at heart, okay? And there are people in your community, no matter where you are, no matter what country you're in, who have your best interest at heart. Start off with your guidance counsellor in school or the principal or whoever else, because it only takes one conversation to change a life, and that one conversation could change the trajectory of your life for the rest of your life, okay? So that's really important that you do that. Now, if you are an adult and you are observing a child or teenager that you know is in a vulnerable position, and you know that what's going on in their life, no matter what it is, and you're all thinking of something right now, if you are observing that and know that it's wrong, your silence is making the problem worse. And unfortunately, we actually become part of the problem. Hence why I have a big fat mouth and I don't mind opening it, because I want to be part of the solution. So I just want you to sit with that for a moment, okay? And think of a time or a situation where you observed somebody that you know was in a vulnerable time in their life, or you knew they were being abused or not, or being neglected or not taken care of. And I guarantee you had a little conversation in your head saying, oh, it's none of my business. That's none of my business. I can't get involved there. It's none of my business. Oh, and sure, that would cause so much hassle. That'd cause an awful lot of hassle now. Oh, I don't know whether to be open to, willing to open a can of them worms. If you are not confident enough to go and address the situation head on, that's fair enough. That's okay. But you need to speak to somebody, because everybody needs that one person, that one voice to pull them up when they're down on the ground. And when you help somebody else to change their life, it changes your life too, and you become a completely different person. I'm going to cut the conversation with regard to victims at that, because I could talk to you literally all day. It's something that I feel very passionately about. It's something that upsets me. And it's going to be an area that I'm going to be working more in. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking because I'll say too much for now. I'll say more later. So I want you to share this post because it will affect somebody. Somebody will watch this and they will remember, yeah, that child or that person or an adult, whatever. There was a situation in America where there was a woman being physically abused by her husband, and he was getting his sons to record it on camera. And she didn't write down dates and all this kind of crack and all that stuff. She didn't have it in her to do that. But a member of her team in her job knew what was going on. They didn't have a conversation about it. They didn't discuss it in public. She knew that that girl was being abused. There was marks on her. She had really down days. And that lady kept a diary of every time that there was a mark on her face. And it was that diary that actually helped convict that man in America and sent her husband to prison. So, you know, you can have an impact on somebody's life without them even realising. And you know what you can do. So I'm going to ask you to share this post. I'm going to ask you to evaluate what I said and ask yourself, is there anybody in your life that you can extend yourself to in your community? Be it an adult or a child or a teenager. And make a difference, lads. That's what this page is all about. It's about making a difference. So let's get back to the good stuff of International Women's Day and think about all of the amazing women that have overcome adverse situations to flourish and thrive. And I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. Take care. Slán.